Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. Your exams are so close now. I know, but don't you worry. I'm here to help you score full marks with another super simple summary. Today, we're diving into this fantastic poem, Ajamil and the Tigers, by Arun Kolatkar. We're going to break it down piece by piece so you understand it perfectly. So, let's get right into it.
Okay, first, a quick question for you. Just imagine, what if your building's security guard, the man who is supposed to protect everyone, secretly makes a deal with the local thieves? Maybe he lets them take a few small things, and in return, they promise not to cause any big trouble. It sounds strange, right? A little bit shocking? Well, just keep that thought in your mind, because that is exactly the kind of tricky situation this poem is all about.
So first things first, let's get into the story, the kahani of the poem. What actually happens? Let's go through it step by step.
The story starts with a huge problem. For the tigers, that is. They are absolutely starving. They go to their king and complain that for more than 2 weeks, 15 whole days and 16 nights, they haven't eaten a single thing. And why? Well, it's all because a shepherd named Ajamil has this amazing new sheepdog. And this dog is so good at his job that not a single tiger can get close to the sheep.
So when the Tiger King hears this, he gets super angry and arrogant. He puffs up his chest and roars, "This is shocking. I'll go myself and teach that sheepdog a lesson he'll never forget." He's just so full of pride, he doesn't even listen to his queen who tells him to be careful. He just storms off, all by himself.
But what do you think happens? Well, just an hour later, the king is back and, oh my, he's not looking very kingly at all. He's got a black patch on his eye, his royal tail is in a sling, he's been completely beaten up by that one little sheepdog. How embarrassing, right? So the king needs a new plan. And what does he come up with? He decides, this time, we will all go. We'll just outnumber him. So he gets his whole army of 50 tigers, plus himself, which makes 51 tigers in total. All of them against one single dog. Surely they're going to win this time, don't you think? Nope. The poem tells us the sheepdog was quick as lightning. He was just unbelievably fast, like he was in 51 places all at once. Before the tigers could even dream of touching a sheep, bam! The dog captures every single one of them, ties them up on a chain, and just throws the whole lot in front of his boss, Ajamil. What a super dog.
Now this is where it gets really funny. The Tiger King caught completely spits out of a broken tooth and comes up with the most shameless lie you have ever heard. He looks right at Ajamil and says, "Oh, there's been a big misunderstanding. We weren't here to eat your sheep. No, we were just coming to see you as friends." Can you believe the nerve?
Okay, so that was the story. It's a simple, funny little tale, right? But listen, my dear students, this poem isn't just a story about talking animals. The poet Arun Kolatkar is actually talking about something much, much deeper. So let's peel back the layers and find out the real meaning.
Now here's the most important word you need for your exam: satire. This whole poem is a satire. And what does that mean? It's really simple. It's when a writer uses humor or makes things sound a bit silly to criticize something serious, like how foolish powerful people can be, or the problems we see in politics. So the poet is making us laugh at the tigers, but he's also making a very serious point.
You see, this poem is working on two different levels. On the surface, the literal level, it's just a story about animals. But if you look deeper, at the figurative level, it's all about politics. The big, strong, aggressive tigers, well, they represent powerful countries or leaders. The poor, helpless sheep, they stand for the weaker, smaller nations. And Ajamil, the shepherd, he's a really clever and practical political leader.
Now, the sheepdog is honest and simple. He's totally disgusted by the tiger's lie and tries to tell his boss, "Don't believe him." But Ajamil just ignores his dog and pretends to believe the Tiger King. Why? Why would he do that? The poem gives us a huge clue in this one tiny line. Ajamil wasn't a fool.
See, this is the most important part. Ajamil knew perfectly well that the tigers were lying. But he was a pragmatist. That's a very important word, remember it. It just means he was a practical thinker. He understood that even though his dog won this battle, the war would never, ever end. The tigers would just keep coming back. He realized that for long-term peace, making a practical deal was much, much smarter than fighting forever.
All right, now for the part you've all been waiting for, the exam corner. Let's look at some key questions that might pop up in your exam and figure out exactly how to answer them to get those full marks. Are you ready?
So,
A very, very common question is this one. What aspect of politics does Ajamil's behavior show? If you see this in your exam paper, I want you to build your answer around 3 key ideas. First, you'll talk about pragmatism. Ajamil is practical. He chooses a solution that actually works in the real world, not some perfect idea that is impossible. Second, you'll mention diplomacy. He uses negotiation and makes a treaty, instead of just using his dog's power. And third, he understands compromise. He knows that for a deal to work, both sides have to get something. So he gives the tigers some sheep, and his own flock gets safety in return. That's real political skill.
Here's another really important one, this time about the end of the poem. What is the meaning of the phrases, play the flute all day, and a common bond?
It's simple, Beta. To play the flute all day is a symbol. It just means a life of peace, of happiness, of prosperity. Because there's no more fighting, Ajamil is free from all his worries. And the common bond between the tigers and sheep? It's not friendship, okay? It's mutual self-interest. Both sides are getting what they want. The tigers get food without a fight, and the sheep get to be safe. That practical deal is their common bond.
So, as we wrap this up, what is the one big idea, the main message that you should absolutely take away from this brilliant poem?
The main takeaway is just this. In our complicated world, sometimes a clever compromise is much more powerful than winning a fight. Ajamil shows us that real strength is often about finding a practical way to have peace, instead of always fighting for what's perfectly right. And I'll leave you with one last thing to think about. Just look at the world around you. Look at the news and how different countries talk to each other. Can you see the Ajamils and the tigers of today? Who are the clever leaders making practical deals, and who are the powerful groups always hungry for more? It's a fascinating question, and this poem gives you the perfect way to think about it. That's all for today, my dears. Study hard, do your best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.